right, welcome everybody to our project update call. Today is June 24th, 2019. Things are really happening here at Regen Network. We have a lot going on. This week I've had Gregory Landua join me because he's been up to all sorts of things, traveling around the world for Regen Network, and we'll get to that in a second. A few things to update you on. This past week, I participated in New York City at the Blockchain for Social Impact Conference. Really amazing, engaging conference, trying to explore all the many ways in which blockchain works with social impact, environmental impact, uplifting people around the world, and how we can really speed up that process. I'm really proud for Regen Network to be a part of that conversation and bringing the value that we are in the ecological front. One of the things that we did at that event was that we publicly announced our partnership and pilot with the Rainforest Foundation, wherein Rainforest Foundation and Regen Network are working with indigenous peoples on the ground in Peru to enable them to be rewarded and incentivized to protect their own native forest land. Left to their own devices, the markets encourage people to cut down the trees and sell them, and with the support of Rainforest Foundation and their donor groups, they are incentivized to protect their forests. So Regen Network is super excited to be partnering with them, building functionality that allows that to be even more trusted and transparent about the donations that are coming in from donors and what's actually happening on the ground that's related to those donations. Super exciting. On the partnership side of things, Regen Network is super proud to be part of the OpenTEAM, part of Dr. Dorn Cox's project that he's been coordinating over the last year. OpenTEAM was just recognized by the Food Shot Global and won a seed prize from that organization. So really, congratulations, Dorn, on what you're doing there, and we're, as always, super excited to continue to digging in on that. I want to move over a bit to the tech side of things and ask Gregory to share a little bit about what's happening over there. Gregory, we've had a few test nets up until this point that have kind of been internal test nets, but we just recently launched a test net that's significantly different than our previous ones. Will you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, hi everybody. Great to be here. Happy to share about our recent public testnet. So we launched actually 2 weeks ago. We launched our first public testnet, which means that it's sort of open and available for people to run validator nodes all over the world. Right now, I think there's right around a dozen different validators running the testnet. This means that it's no longer just our company running sort of like a developer-centered testnet. We actually have people participating in the whole social coordination of running a blockchain all around the world, which is super exciting. And coming up shortly, for those of you who might be interested in the developer community, the validator community, we're going to start running incentivized testnets where people can win prizes for participating in the testnet, can qualify to earn Regen Tokens that will be granted at the Genesis block when we launch the mainnet. So it's an amazing group of people. You can join the public Telegram community and just let us know if you're interested. And we have a private group that just centers around kind of the geeky coordinating developer-centered approach to making sure that our blockchain is up and running, and we're kind of coordinating this global community around Regen Ledger.
Awesome, awesome. So I know that there are a few validators on our testnet that aren't from the Cosmos community. I think Orchid Labs spun up a node, and they're not validating on the Cosmos SDK, but a lot of the validators that are on our testnet come from the Cosmos community. We're building on the Cosmos SDK. We're super excited about that community. And one of the first things I want to say is, first of all, welcome to Jae Kwon, who's joined our advisor group here at Regen Network. He tweeted out after joining our advisor group that, quote, "I predict that Regen will become a vital component of our world recovery plan." I've really personally enjoyed getting to know Jay a little bit more and appreciate how much he cares about the environment and cares about the planet, and how he shared that that's part of he and Ethan's impetus to actually create Cosmos in the first place. So Gregory, you were spending some time with them in Berlin this last week. Will you tell us a little bit about your time there?
Yeah, I had an amazing time in Berlin with, along with Aaron, our CTO, and we the first couple of days we were at the Interchain conversations, which was the first get together of the entire Cosmos ecosystem. So we had developers, validators, the core team of Tendermint and the Interchain Foundation, all meeting in one place at Full Node in Berlin, and just really high quality conversations about the future of the network, opportunities and challenges, and just really frank, honest, open conversation, and a really high quality community. And
awesome.
Yeah, really grateful to be part of it. You can actually tune in to some of those conversations. And we'll figure out how to put some links in the show notes about that if you're interested. And then the second 2 days were a hackathon in which Regen Network pulled together an amazing team of senior engineers from other great projects as well, including IOV and True Story and Althea and Wallet Connect. And we all formed a team that we called the Gaians. And we actually ended up winning one of the prizes at the hackathon for integrating a WASM virtual machine into the Cosmos SDK, as well as doing some really important work on key permissions and delegation. So essentially, a lot of the challenges with usability in the blockchain space have to do with managing your private keys. And we sort of, Aaron Craelius, our CTO, had written a specification for a way to approach that so that you can delegate certain permissions of your key, of your account to other people, including paying for fees or allowing different people to vote. Like maybe you want to delegate voting to someone else. Really broad. I mean, I'm happy to speak more in detail about how that lands in our use case and how we were holding farmers in mind when we were thinking about how do we build applications that support farmers to engage in regeneration. That was really the impetus behind the entire work that the hackathon team was doing, which was amazing. That use case really got distilled, but essentially in 36 hours, the team pulled together sort of a superior version of the Ethereum virtual machine. And, it's live and running on a test net, and we were executing smart contracts. And so just a testament to the power of the Cosmos SDK and a really badass team of developers.
Right, that's awesome. And that functionality is totally critical to what we're building at Regen Network. But it sounds like a lot of that code is going to get pushed upstream and potentially integrated into the Cosmos SDK core code.
Yeah, so there's some really interesting, I mean, more generically, what was developed is really useful for other blockchain zones as well as the Cosmos Hub. And so there's a really active, lively conversation. Regen Network is hosting two working groups, one on the WASM, that's the WebAssembly virtual machine working group, and one on the key management and permissions and subkeys working group. And we sort of have active engagement with a bunch of other developers and zones to basically formalize the specification, audit the code, and then be able to push that up into the main Cosmos Hub and make it available for other Cosmos zones to participate in.
Right.
So, yeah, really excited to see that sort of open source community development taking place. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's really sweet for Aaron and our team to be able to participate so heavily in the implementation of that code. So awesome. I mean, I hope others on this call who are of the developer mindset get involved, get onto the GitHub. Are we using GitHub or GitLab as our primary place for people to plug in now?
Well, most developers are familiar with GitHub and using it. So, everything is on GitHub. We do some things on GitLab. Everything's mirrored onto GitHub. So, you can go, that's a go-to. I think that there's live links on our website to the GitHub.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll include those down below this video as well. Great. Tune in. I would also say if you're interested in tuning in more on the Regen Network side of things, if you're on Telegram, ping us. We'd love to get you into the Regen Network kind of VIP dev channel so you can be more in those dev conversations. And then we also have a community developer call once a week that Aaron is leading. So reach out to us about that. And
yeah, tomorrow it's Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. So you can do your calculation whether you're in European time or on the Pacific or in Asia. It's 2 p.m. New York City time, and we have that every week.
Every week.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. Well, thanks for that, Gregory. Another big thing that's happening in our team and Regen Network that's finally kind of come out here is our economics paper. Do you want to just give a brief overview of kind of the process to get there and what that paper kind of covers?
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's been a journey. You know, the state of token economics is an ever fluctuating, evolving space generally, and in our case, you know, thinking about the complexity of ecological health and how to build sort of a public, open, transparent data place and agreement framework and then marketplace for ecological assets and claims has been, you know, a process. And we're really happy to have the economics paper. I believe it's live and published, and if not, it will be, you know, this week. And essentially what we do is dedicate significant time and attention to ensuring that people can understand basically the core economics of a proof of stake network that's dedicated to the ecological domain and ecological claims, agreements, and assets more generally. So you could sort of think of Regen Network as like a natural capital marketplace and a data commons that supports everyone to have access to high quality, high fidelity information about ecological claims and assets that are being exchanged. And so underpinning that is this proof of stake network and a staking token. And the Regen token is a proof of stake token. And so what it's built to do is incentivize people to run the validator nodes, the computers that create the decentralized network that ensures that everyone has access to this high fidelity, high integrity information about ecological health so that people can make agreements about it. And so, you know, basically just outlining how that works, how the token behaves, how validators in the network earn, you know, money so that their sort of small businesses securing the network are thriving as a foundation for then other people to have businesses, whether it's farming or verifying claims, pulling data, providing algorithms. There's a whole ecosystem of different service providers that come together to essentially create Regen Network. And, you know, again, this economics paper really focuses on the foundational layer of that, like the roots of the proof of stake network. And then later as we go, you can look forward to more information coming out as we work with pilots and start to create sort of the trunk and the branches and the leaves of this beautiful tree that we're creating at Regen Network.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I was super happy to see that, and digging through that paper, I'm just really super inspired by all the hard work that's been done. I mean, I definitely want to give a shout out to Kyle and Will from our team, in addition to Gregory, who put so many hours into that paper. And anyone in the community, if you've got reflections or ideas or upgrades, please ping us with them, because this is always a work in progress. Yeah, and to kind of go from there, a lot of that has to do with the tokenomics of the Regen token. We are currently in the midst of a token sale that's going really well. It's a private sale for qualified investors. So if there are any of you on this call who are qualified investors, either here in the United States or abroad, check out our website. You can find out more information on the investor link there. Thanks for that overview, Gregory.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So another announcement just to keep our eye on is that this week the Keeling Curve Prize is announcing the first prize, first place finisher for their prize. Regen Network was honored to be a finalist in that, and we're yet to find out whether we're first place, but we're going to be watching closely. That's about it this week for our updates. I wanted to share this past weekend. I spent the weekend in Yellowstone. I went up there with a good friend of mine, and besides wolves, we got to experience every major animal that we were hoping to see. Within 20 minutes of entering into the park, we saw a grizzly bear about 40 feet away. Fortunately, it was across the river from us, so we got to sit there and observe it for a while. At one moment, I was standing in the Lamar Valley of Yellowstone and tried to estimate how many buffalo I could see. And I estimated about 900 in these 3 different clumps of buffalo. We saw bighorn sheep, we saw longhorns, we saw marmots, we saw elk and moose and all sorts of other creatures. It was an incredibly rejuvenating trip for me, and it reminded me of why it is that I'm putting all this time and effort into this work here at Regen Network. For anyone else, who hasn't been to Yellowstone, I definitely highly recommend you take a trip up there. Thanks a lot, everyone. I'm headed out to Switzerland tomorrow for the dialogues on land and security, and I will check in from there. Thanks for joining us, Gregory.
Thanks a lot, Christian. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.